Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video of Teambuilding with Zooch, where I take a live guest and team build for their game. And then after, I will basically go over the replay and talk about how I think the team was, how the battle was, and all that nonsense. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We have our guest Olivia with us today. Go ahead and say hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy is right. So we got a matchup here. This is Paldea, just preview, right? Standard rules.
Yes, just standard format. Open Terra. Terra preview, obviously, but
Yeah, cool. This is for a league, I'm assuming.
yes, this is for TBC Ralts Division.
Oh, okay, who are you playing?
I'm playing Ponytail this week.
Oh yeah, phony. So this is pretty early in the season, right? It's like week 3 maybe, or 4?
This is week 5.
Oh, shit.
I am 2-2 right now.
Okay.
Had a bit of a mixed bag. I don't really like my draft, I'll be honest. I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of an adjustment learning how to use it. We're starting to get there now, though.
Okay. How's Phony doing?
Phony has had a quiet start, I think. I think they're either 2-2 or they're 1-3.
Okay. That's fair.
So probably about the same sort of area that I'm at, so I'm expecting a tough battle.
Cool. You said you had like some notes on it already that you
I was going to, and then I got really sidetracked because I had a different matchup that I've spent all day coping about.
Okay. Did you end up
I've been a bit sidetracked.
Did you end up playing that matchup yet or no?
No, I haven't played them. I've got 2 this weekend that I'm looking forward to.
Okay, cool. So, all right, so we could just start. I mean, I like to usually look at the opponent's team first before I even look at ours and kind of see, if you can see anything. I took maybe like 15 minutes to look at this real quick before we started, and there's definitely something that sticks out to me, which is their hazard control. So they only have 1 removal, actually, right? It's just Endurance, yeah. And you have pretty much like the best spiker in the game, so that's definitely what we want going for us here. It sucks that there's no really way to block court change. Golden Go can pretty much block anything else, but I think court change still works versus Golden Go, right? Because it doesn't.
Yes, but it doesn't target. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But I do think Samurot's just a good Pokemon to start on the builder. I actually think even maybe like definitely offensive, even like maybe Scarf, just because he doesn't have great dark resist. Like it's just these 2 guys right here. Plus, you have like a hard counter to Klefki, like hard counter in Golden Go. So it's probably better for you, honestly, if they have Klefki and then they bring it in, because the only thing it can do is like spike versus you. It can't like trick, T-Wave, like its attacks aren't gonna do anything, So it's honestly probably a good thing that Klefki is if it comes to the game. So yeah. I do think Golden Go's for sure going to come here, because even Golden Go's offensive attacks look really good here. They only have 1 Ghost Resist. It's Zarude. So, yeah, I definitely think Golden Go's going to put in a lot of work in this game. I think we should just put that on the builder right away. For sure. So, if we want to take advantage with Klefki with this set, I think you definitely need Shadow Ball and then probably make it rain. But I think Sub is pretty good here, just because, yes, if you're in front of Klefki, you can just easily click Shadow Ball because, they're probably gonna switch. It's just if they go into something like maybe they bring like Spit F Chomp or like Zarude or something. If you do click Sub, at least you get to hit them harder with Make It Rain or something. You don't want to just predict and click Make It Rain, because then what if they go like something like, I don't know, Rotom or something? That's why I think Sub is pretty fair. I generally don't like Sub because it kind of takes away health on your Pokemon, unless it's like a free quote-unquote sub, is what I like to say. And this is a scenario where I do think this substitute is pretty free, right? So the last slot though, there's a bunch of options. You could run Focus Blast to do a bit more to Zarude if you want. You could run Nasty Plot in case they have I don't know, a Spadef Gligar or something, so you could break past it. T-Wave, it just depends on what you prefer. Do you have any other preferences, you think?
So when I first looked at this, I kind of looked at T-Wave Hex initially.
Okay, T-Wave Hex,
I thought spreading para seemed generally okay here, but then I considered Chomp's immune, Zarude can jungle healing, so I'm not too sure about T-Wave. It's still kind of nice, but they've got a lot of things that can soak it, like Rotom Wash, they've got Gligar.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about that. I am concerned a little bit about spamming Shadow Ball, because I think Weakness Policy Necrozma could come here.
So
and it could definitely catch one.
Yes, that is true. You do have to obviously take into account whatever their tera is going to be, but the thing, so if you hit necrozma with a shadow ball, right, it's going to do a lot of damage. Yes, it can definitely trigger the policy, but I think you're going to have things faster to like where like a shadow ball
Yes.
plus something, you know, will revenge it. So unless the scenario happens where like you have Golden Go in and they have necrozma and then like they autotomize or something as you know, proc the policy, that could be something like that could definitely punch a hole through your team. So it's just kind of having to keep that in mind. Obviously, we're not even close to done building the team yet, but once we finish the team, if something like a +2 necrozma does just kind of run through our team, then that's probably something that you have to be wary about and not shadow ball it right away, just until you know the item, or maybe he teras into something, you know, different, stuff like that. So I mean, you could run T-Wave as last anyway, just without Hex, and then you could T-Wave the necrozma if you want that.
T-Wave looks okay. I looked at to be honest, generically I like Focus Blast obviously for hitting Zarude, but I also like just Recover. Because we are subbing. And it's like you're gonna be eating your own health. I don't know if we're running lefties or if we're running Colbur or what yet. I'm not really figured it out. But if you're not running lefties, then I think Recover is kind of nice to have. I think Plot is a bit aggressive if we're going for subs and plots, because they're not going to switch into something that's slower than you.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
so I'm not sure about Plot.
Yeah, Plot's probably not. The Plot, like, I only think Plot would be ideal for like I said, like probably like Spadef Gligar or something, and that's not too likely. Maybe like a Calm Mind Necrozma could be annoying, and Plot would help with that, but again, we're gonna have other Pokemon anyway, so we can leave the last off for now. In terms of like the speed, do you want to just make sure you're faster than Necrozma and just be?
I would say Necrozma, yeah, definitely. You definitely want to be faster than that. It's what, like, realistically, the only Necrozma sets that are like super mega threatening for sweeping would be like D-Dance, because I don't think it gets autotomized anymore, so it would just be D-Dance.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I don't think Necrozma's that. I don't think Necrozma's that great, to be honest, but it is threatening, and you have to pay attention to it. The other thing it could do is like a Meteor Beam, like bulky set, which would be really annoying to remove.
Yeah, I just did a Natdex, well, that's why I was thinking about autotomize, but yeah, it does not have that. So
thank God they didn't give it back.
Yeah. So if you do anticipate like maybe a Dragon Dance set could come here, what I would probably do is the speed it would probably go to is at +1, it would want to outspeed Torn, right? If it's Dragon Dance.
Yeah.
So you could probably speed creep that if you want, or you could just be definitely faster than its max speed if you want. It doesn't really matter. If you do the speed creeping, you could probably get away with Modest, but if you want to just be safe, you could go Timid and outspeed max speed Necrozma. It's up to you.
Let's go aggro. I've been doing aggro a lot recently.
Okay, so it's gonna go to 251 then to outspeed Torn at +1. So can we go? Yeah, we can go Modest then. And then we'll just chuck this in for now. And then again, last slot item 2. It's probably gonna be lefties, but it can definitely be a Colbur Berry. It could help for Sarude. It could be. It's probably not gonna be Akka or Shuka. I don't think that's gonna. We're gonna have probably different Pokemon for those guys. So it'd probably just be Colbur or lefties if I had to take a guess right away. Maybe Kasib too for Gengar if you want, but we'll see how that goes. We could just leave this for now. So, yeah, the other Pokemon that we did mention, I think Samurot's really good here. Spikes is really good, and then just forcing them to. Okay, I can't do that. The core change is always good too. So, Ceaseless. Do you want to go Scarf here, or do you want a different item? What are you thinking here?
I did consider Scarf. Scarf seems quite decent into everything generally.
Yeah, it does give you some.
Like you said, their Ceaseless resists are pretty poor.
Yep.
You only really need like Ceaseless, Aqua Cutter, and then probably like a Prio option. I don't even think you need anything else.
Yeah, maybe a fighting move
Sacred
too.
Sword for Zarude.
Yeah. And then maybe it could be like, I mean, I don't know if it's like Iron Defense Klefki or something, but we don't care about Klefki, so I do think Sacred Sword is good here. Do you think Jet or Sucker is probably better here?
I want to say Sucker, but they're both, I think it's kind of 6.5 a dozen a little bit.
Yeah. I would probably
things.
Yeah, I would probably just lean Jet a little bit because I don't like being locked into Sucker Punch. as much. At least Jet, you're still like doing some damage. If you're locked into Sucker Punch, then they know that, like, it's just pretty easy setup. I think it also could come down to like how weak our team is to things like Cinderace with Garchomp compared to like Necrozma or like Rotom or something. So we can leave that again later. We don't have to deal with that now. The last slot, I do think, this might sound weird, but you've probably seen it already, is Encore on a Scarf set. Just because, yeah, just because it does give you like an extra bit of protection versus like a set of Necrozma or something. I don't
like
really.
Zarude.
Yeah, bulk up Zarude too. Though like Sacred Sword will just kind of destroy it, but
Sure.
I don't really see another move. Like you could maybe Flip Turn if you want to, or Aqua Cutter and then Priority. Aqua Cutter is not bad too, honestly. It could just be like a move that you lock into, you know, win later. So you could do Aqua Cutter too if you don't want Encore. I just thought it'd be cool to have a, you know, an extra blanket of security. But it's up to you.
Yeah, no, I like Encore. Encore sounds fun.
Okay, we'll put Encore in the last slot, and then we'll leave the Prio for last. Scarf for now. Sharpness. This is a Pokemon where I do think you should be faster
I agree.
than Necro. So
You just go max, basically. Well, almost
yeah,
max. But
yeah. It's 282, right? I think.
I think so.
This is something where you might want to put that remaining EVs in Spadef or Defense instead, because its Spadef is pretty low. If we had to take a guess what kind of hits we're taking with Samurott.
I mean, you're likely. Do you not kind of want to switch into like Pyro Balls and stuff? So
Yeah, no. I think
probably more on the physical end.
Yeah, it could just U-turn though, Cinderace, which would be a bit scary.
Oh, that's true.
But I mean, most of
not really a lot of things it wants to switch in on, to be honest.
Yeah, you could
Gengar maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say you could be aggressive and go hard on Gengar, just expecting a Shadow Ball, or even if they Sludge Wave, you probably don't die to one. And then maybe if Necrozma is special too, like you could just go hard into that if you want, because you can lock it if it does do some weird thing. So you probably want the Spadef, I would say here. But that's okay. I think that's a pretty good start. They do have hazards like spikes and stuff on their side. They don't have, their blocker isn't really good into your spinner because it just dies. Fizdef Donphan seems pretty good here for these two guys, as well as your spinner. Lycanroc looks pretty good too actually here, just because a Cell Rock will do a shit ton to the two things that are faster or Speed Tide. And then if you just look like close combat plus Stone Edge, like it's just Gligar that'll probably tank it really. You could run maybe like Psychic Fangs or something if you want to make sure you kill this guy if you want. I don't know. Do you think Gligar comes here? Gligar seems actually like.
Gligar seems low-key annoying. I was thinking Psychic Fangs look good because everyone is running screens into me every single week, and I figured if Klefki was wanting to come, Klefki is kind of useless without like having anything to facilitate a team. So I felt like spikes plus screens looked kind of plausible on that.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. We can throw Lycanroc on the builder now. I want to see like, because it's probably your best breaker, or even if you wanted to make it like your quote unquote like win condition at the end, because it is a pretty good cleaner and outspeeds when things are chipped. I'm trying to think here though. So again, we don't care about Klefki like at all because of Golden Go. If Golden Go does go down for some reason, like early, then it could be a bit annoying. But again, it's a good thing honestly for us if they bring Klefki, in my opinion. So I don't think Stone Edge is going to be doing a ton to like Gligar though, right? From Lycanroc.
No, I think it's what, like 30-40.
That's probably like our hardest hitting move for it. Gligar. Yeah, it's like 30.
Yeah, 30.
And that's like worst case scenario though too.
It can't heal though, so I mean every time it switches in on one, it's.
That's true. Yeah, and like would they even bring Fizdef Gligar here? It would.
Does it get Ice Fang?
Lycanroc, I don't think so. It gets Fire Fang, but not Ice Fang. Yeah.
That's so sad.
Makes a lot of sense,
I mean,
yeah.
Ice Spike's probably not killing anyway. It's probably doing like 60, but
Yeah, it does help though that, like you said, it's not it doesn't have Roost no more, but it would just be these, and then yeah, I think Psychic Fangs is like a pretty solid. Like this is just a pretty solid set right here. It would probably just be max just because of the Gengar.
yeah, agreed.
We can check how much a Cell Rock does to Gengar though. Yeah, that's Life Orb. It does a good chunk. It does over half, and they would probably be max too if they do bring it. So if we, all it takes is like a couple spikes, and then like you don't gotta worry about that Pokemon. It's the Garchomp that you're gonna need weakened, I think, for Lycan Rock, especially if it's like, I guess, Tank Chomp. Yeah, like you're not gonna do it. If it's Fizdef again, I don't know if it's gonna be. It would make sense for them to be like pretty offensive here because you have a Mew, and they'd probably want to be faster than Mew. And just like Earthquake looks pretty good versus your team, right? Like the only resists are Torn, which could Tera into something that's not resisted anymore. Appleton, which is going to get destroyed by a Dragon move. And these two guys. Like, Slitherwing could be annoying for it, sure. But I don't know if Slitherwing is coming here. It looks pretty good. Like just fighting, like even like we were talking about CC, like fighting looks pretty good into this team. But we do have to kind of consider what other Pokemon we're bringing. I think we have to bring Torn, right? Torn's just so good, and it outspeeds everything this matchup. So it doesn't have to be like an offensive Torn per se. It could be more bulkier, but I do think Torn is gonna come for sure. So do you have any ideas what kind of Torn you think would work here?
Honestly, not too much. I've been having a lot of difficulty with Torn so far. I think like a Nasty Plot Torn is probably your best way to make progress with it. I've been running Spidefy Torns and AV Torns so far, and it's just not feeling it at all. So I mean, like, I think Nasty Plot with Bleak Wind kind of covers everything. You've got Heat Wave that covers your Klefki, and then your Terra type could genuinely be something that can hit Rotom.
So yes, okay. So I think there's two Torns here, and based off what you just said, I think I know which one you're gonna lean towards. Yeah, I do think. Yeah, so I do think Plot and having Terra Grass is one set, and then I was gonna say Assault Vest. The only reason why I was gonna say Assault Vest though is because, so like I was looking at Belly Bolt too. I think Belly Bolt, like a Terra Fairy Belly Bolt, is actually pretty good here.
I agree with that.
We would go with the Assault Vest one if we're planning on Terraing Belly Bolt, I think is better. If we're gonna go with the Plot one, yes, I think like maybe Terra Grass is really solid here because you really only need Flying Move and Grass Move. You don't even need Heat Wave because again, we don't really care about Klefki. We do not. We have such a good Pokemon into it. It doesn't really matter. Plus, even if you do have Heat Wave, you're still like vulnerable to Trick or Thunder Wave or something from Klefki anyway. So you realistically would only need like Plot, Hurricane, Terra Blast, and then last move can be just U-turn or something, or knock off if you want to just be safe or whatever. I don't even think it's worth running Heat Wave. Or if you're Assault Vest, because the reason why I like Assault Vest too is because if we're running like a Fizdef Belly Bolt with Terra Fairy, which I think looks pretty good, especially for Chomp and Zarude, Assault Vest is going to be probably needed to check with. I still think you can be Terra Grass, like have it on the preview to kind of scare the Rotom, but I do think Assault Vest is good just as like your check to these two guys, and it could take a hit from Necrozma too or something if it's if it's special, because like looking at the build, if we do have Torn, right, and let's say we do bring Belly Bolt, last thought would probably be, what are we missing? It would probably be Donphan. Yeah, Donphan, maybe Mew. Okay, one of those two probably. So if you look at something like, well, we'll just put Donphan for now. Rotom, like Rotomosh, like we don't have a great switch in. Even if we're flying type, like we don't Terra, but we're Assault Vest, Rotom should not be able to just kill us, right? So what we could do is we could use Torn anyway. Again, they have to be scared of us tearing to a grass type until we Terra the Belly Bolt. But what we could do is we could probably just throw in Torn and then just U-turn on Chip and then maybe go into something like Golden Go. Because we could have Recover as well, you know? So it just depends on how we finish this build. If you want to go with the offensive Torn though, we can do that too, and then just Terra Blast will just kill the Rotom anyway, so we don't gotta worry about it. But it all just depends kind of how we round out this team here. So do you think Belly Bolt is good to come here? Or do you want to bring like maybe Mew instead or Slitherwing?
I mean, I love bringing Belly Bolt. I think everyone should know that by now.
Yeah.
So any opportunity to bring Belly Bolt, I'm quite happy to take it. So I'm all for building with it.
Yeah.
I've not even run it yet this season, so
Okay, yeah.
And it's a good matchup for it, so I'm more than happy to give it a go.
Yeah,
I
because
do like the look of Grass Torn, so it's definitely worth weighing up. But I think I do agree. I looked at it and I thought Fairy Belly Bolt looks really good generally into their physical guys.
Yeah, like,
and it just gives you so much cover.
Yeah, Chomp, Cinderace, and like Zaru, like Terra Fairy Belly Bolt looks pretty good. I don't know if Cinderace is gonna want to run Gunk Shot here. I don't think it really needs to. Like, it's gonna have a fire move. It's gonna have U-turn. It might have a fighting move for Lycanroc, but it's gonna die to a Solrock anyway. So I'm not too sure. It might just be like a psych. No, I don't even know if it would have a psychic move for like as Antipody. I'm not really too sure what moves Cinderace would run here actually. Like maybe Sucker Punch. It probably have Sucker Punch because it doesn't.
It could be Sucker. It could be Wisp. Like it could be. The way I view it, it's either a Scarfer here or it's Boots Court Change. And if it's Court Change,
yeah,
you've only really got room for 2 moves outside of Pyro Ball and Court Change. So
yeah,
and a U-turn is like a given probably.
Yes, yeah, I do think Powerball. Yeah, I do think those 3 moves that you just named are very likely here. Last, yeah, it could be Willow maybe for Donphan too.
Yeah, Donphan, and you could also have it for, like, say it's predicting a Sucker Punch from Samura or something. You can Wisp on that.
Yeah, I've also seen, like, you know, Court Change and then Double Edge too, because your normal type could do a lot of damage as well. That's the last slot.
That would also be pretty cool.
Yeah, so, but
HGK just seems really risky into Goldengo.
Goldengo, and then it could just flat out miss, or if you're Terra Fairy Bolt, like it's just not gonna do much. So
yeah, I don't see Gunk coming unless they're like really banking on us bringing Terra Fairy something.
Yeah, does Terra Fairy Torn look? I mean, Terra Fairy Torn.
It looks okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. They might bring Gunk if they expect Terra Fairy Torn. I don't think they're gonna bring it for a Terra Fairy Belly Bolt though.
Yeah, it would either be that or it would be Scarf Gengar for Terra Fairy Torn.
Yeah. So, and then we're gonna be Assault Vest, so that would, well, not for sure yet, but if we were, like, that's something that would be pretty good for us. So we can just do. I mean, I think the moves are pretty standard here, right? Like we just bring Volt Switch, Terra Blast, Toxic Slack Off, or what do you think?
I think you bring Slack Off for sure, and probably Toxic, and then item would probably just be Heavy Duty Boots because we're probably getting our Spikes Court changed. There's not really a lot we can do to prevent that.
So the thing is though, if we do bring Donphan, I do think that is our switch into Cinderace just to spin immediately if they do Court Change. So, and if they don't Court Change, then we keep the Spike up. So we can run Boots if you want to be safe for sure, yeah. But I do think we're gonna have a good chance of removing those hazards if they do Court Change onto us, because it's risky for them to go Gengar on a spin. They just die. But yeah, it's up. We can run with Boost though, because
and then either then you could do like Citrus or Lefties, I guess, or no, I feel like Resistance Berry's a bit psycho. Yeah, no, probably just Lefties or Citrus. Maybe Citrus because you're gonna take like a powerful, like say you take like a powerful Pyro Ball or like you switch in on an Earthquake or something. Citrus can help keep you top.
We could check how much we're taking. Okay, so that's not boosted. They're gonna be Jolly or out of here. If I was them, I'd actually run Adamant because they don't care about outspeeding this because they get a Cell Rocked anyway.
Yeah.
So they actually might be Adamant here down to Mew. So we'll just calc with Adamant. Okay, so
I think if they are, well, okay, maybe they kind of have to be jolly based on the fact that they might want to sucker our Accelerock.
They could, yes, that's possible.
And if we're taking
actually.
Life Orb Chip, like Libero Dark Sucker Punch is probably doing what, like 50, 60 to Lycanroc?
Yeah, so yeah, that's actually very fair. So they might be jolly. We could just calc with either or. They might. I don't know if they're gonna like maybe think that we won't bring Lycanroc or something too, but they realistically they should expect us to bring it. So, but either way, I do think Citrus is good. I honestly think Boots, Citrus, Lefties, Helmet like are all good because like they all can just help you survive or just. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. They help you survive more.
Helmet's nice if you think that the Zarude's going to be like Scarf knockoff spam or something, because I think Scarf Zarude looks pretty okay here.
Yeah,
you might want to just come in and click U-turn a whole bunch.
Yeah, whenever I think of like something like Zarude, where it's like whatever item you have, like it's gonna more than likely get knocked off. Like it might as well just be Helmet to get some chip.
Yeah, so Helmet looks nice here.
Yeah, the things that would proc the Helmet really, it's mainly just Zarude, and then U-turn or a physical attack, like a contact move from Cinderace. That's really it. But I do think it's still worth it. If they don't bring Zarude, then there's no Shadow Ball resist, so that's fine for us anyway.
True.
So I don't know. I don't think there's a 100% correct answer. It's just preference. But if you want to run Helmet or Citrus, it doesn't matter.
Let's go Helmet for now. And I think you are literally just fat max.
Yeah, like
max
that.
defense. I don't think you need to do anything too cheeky with this.
Yeah, they build their nose. We're gonna go. Oh god, we're gonna go. Tera Fairy. So that's another thing too. Like when you're battling though, you're gonna have to kind of go into the battle. Like if you're just planning on you're gonna Tera Bolt, then it's Tera Belly Bolt. It's probably just gonna be best to Tera it like immediately whenever it's in. It does kind of show to them that you're not gonna Tera the Torn, but you gotta kind of look at what's more important to you, like what they see or like what's best for your team, right? Like it's probably gonna be just to Tera immediately, but it just depends what they bring and all that stuff and how the game's going, you know. So, so we have our Torn, we have some Golden Go. So do you think Donphan is better than like Mew here or Slitherwing, or what are you thinking?
So the only thing about Donphan that concerns me is I think currently, and I don't know how likely this is to come, we kind of get rocked by Shell Smash Cloyster.
Okay, Shell Smash Cloyster. So
we do kind of lose to that, especially the Teras.
Right. So what can we do to? So we do have a Accelerock, which is nice. I think so. So there's two things that you can do here. We have our Scarf Samurott. If you really do you know if he's brought Cloyster before?
I haven't scouted. No, I've been a bit lazy this week. But I kind of glanced at this, like our build, and I glanced at the matchup, and I'm like Tera Ground Cloyster with like Tera Blast, Rock Blast, Ice Spear. It's like, what do we? Yeah. we just lose, do we not?
Well,
a little bit.
So okay, so we can. I mean, we could check versus like Belly Bolt. Like I don't think it's gonna kill your Belly Bolt, right? +2. It's not. Obviously, if it's Tera Ground, though, you can only Toxic it. You can't do anything else. What you can do... So I know we have Scarf Samurott, and I do think Scarf Samurott is the best set here. You could also run Mirror Herb. Okay. So I like Mirror Herb here, too, because, one, it's for that Cloyster. Like, if you see it in the back and it's not like a lead hazard set, like, you know it's Shell Smash, right, if they're holding it. But you can also use that as your initial switch in if they don't bring Cloyster. You can also use it as your initial switch in to Necrozma too. So if it Calm Minds, DDs, whatever, you copy the stats and then you can just trap them with Encore, or you can just attack with whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's better than Scarf. I think Cloyster is a bit interesting because first of all, like, what do you think it's gonna set up the Shell Smash on? Is it gonna be Donphan?
It would probably be like Donphan or Belly Bolt. Those are your two that it looks like it can set up on.
Okay.
Because if you're belly bolt, like you don't really have the luxury of running toxic, running protect normally, so you can't really stall it out with toxic, and it can just shell smash on you.
Okay, so let's see here. So again, so if it is a situation where you think like they could self smash and like your team would kind of get rolled by it, I think you can simply just attack, because like Terra Blast into a Cell Rock should kill.
Maybe you want Jet here as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jet into potential like a ground, like you said.
Well, that thing is bulky as shit, so it's probably eating anyway. But
yeah, so you do have 2 priority options. Plus, again, I don't think Belly Bolt would be a good target, because they probably expect Toxic too. But in that situation, it's probably best to just hit it, because you're going to do a lot to it. It doesn't have good spit F, right? 50, 45, you know, like it's going to take a shitload. So Donphan would be a target that it could potentially set up on. You can make Donphan have like Roar or something if you're scared. Or it could be... I was gonna say counter with Sturdy, but Spear would get through that.
Yeah, you would have to be like Endure cost up.
Yeah, you could do that. I think looking at the moves from his team for Donphan though, I would probably have what? Spin, EQ,
Rocks.
You could do rocks, yeah. Spin, EQ, rocks, and then either like knockoff or ice shard or roar. It just depends. I don't. So you said rocks. I don't know, because we're going into this game. We're going to be expecting to get spikes up, right? So you can do rocks as well, but again, he does have that core change mon, which can kind of just nullify it. You can run rocks, like if you don't think you need any other moves. So we definitely need spin and EQ, right? Rapid spin and EQ.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last 2 slots are between Stealth Rock, Knockoff, Encore, Roar, Ice Shard. Those 5 are probably like the only. So it just comes down to, what do you think?
I do like Ice Shard.
You like Ice Shard? Okay.
Ice Shard is just super nice for.
Yep.
Again, the Terra Ground Cloister that we're fighting Shadow Demons over.
Yeah.
You've got the Garchomp. If it's like a Scale Shot Garchomp or
Yeah.
Starchomp, it's kind of nice.
Yep.
Like we don't know what the necrozma going to be, but like say, I don't know, it's just nice to have prio for it.
Yeah,
it also hits Zarude as well.
Yep. I think the last move is probably the trickiest. It's either knock, rocks, roar, encore.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your logic behind rocks. I don't think it's that valuable here.
Yeah, because
knockoff is generally nice. You can maybe, I don't know, you can maybe remove lefties from Zarude on a switch in or something. Say Zarude wants to switch into Donphan because it's it resists your stab.
Yeah, or Rotom too. Yeah.
Or Rotom as well. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Although removing boots from Rotom doesn't really accomplish much.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be
spikes, but
it'll probably
be lefties or like a Citrus or Scarf Trick. Could be Scarf Trick.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah. But if you want rocks, like you can have it too. It's just, I personally would lean knockoff here. Especially because if they do bring Gengar, like they could make the cycle play and go Gengar on the rapid spin. So maybe you click knockoff first just in case. So at least you get an item, even if they don't go Gengar.
Like yeah.
So
Knock seems nice. The other option, like the cycle option, is Endeavor.
Endeavor. So would you want to be Custaf then?
Well, you'd just be Endeavor Ice Shard, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
but then you're playing this really awkward game of keeping Sturdy up the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that good, but
yeah. I mean, you could. It's just, because I don't think Gengar is gonna be like, balloon or anything. So not having Knock wouldn't be the worst. But if you want to get the Endeavor off, you can, because they don't really have anything they can do about it, right? Because Ice Shard, Endeavor Ice Shard is really good.
Cycling back, I did also want to suggest Balloon on Goldango, because if you go thingy and you get your sub up, it means they can't immediately just pivot straight to Chomp.
Yeah, you can do that.
Having the Balloon to get rid of seemed quite nice.
Yeah, so the only thing that sucks is I think if, let's say you have a gold, like you bring Goldango and Klefki, right? and then you're in a balloon and you sub, they see the balloon. So I think if they attack the sub, it breaks the balloon, right?
Oh, does it? Okay, never
I
mind.
think
That
it
might be
does.
stupid. That
Yeah,
might be stupid.
I'm pretty sure it breaks the balloon through that. Even if they don't break the sub, I'm pretty sure it does pop the balloon. Yeah. So
Okay, yeah,
they
no, then
might do
that's
that.
plan scrapped.
Yeah. So it was a good thought though. I mean, but I do think lefties is probably the best here. We could do recover as the last slot too, like you said earlier. But anyways, back to Dawn Fan. So you want to do Endeavor or what are you thinking?
I like knock. I think knock's just nice. I mean, it means every time you come in, you can just click knock and probably do something.
Yeah, and probably just Fizz Def here too. So because you have two like pretty Fizz Def Pokemon, I would probably dedicate Bellybolt to, or I'd probably dedicate Donphan to Cinderace, just so if they do core change, you're there to spin immediately. And then Bellybolt could probably be used for Chomp / Zarude. And then obviously, you could still use Donphan for Garchomp too or something. They might not have all three, you never know. It just depends what they have. So, but I do think if they have Cinderace, Donphan should be the Cinderace, not Bellybolt. Check, especially if you have, if you have hazards up. So, do we want speed on this guy at all? At +1, do we want to like outspeed anything?
Maybe outspeeding necrozma at +1. You probably don't even need that much.
Well, what's necrozma like? What speed at max speed?
Are we presuming they're max speed? I think, yeah, plausibly they'd be max speed.
I think
close to max speed.
Yeah, I think it would be that 251 speed to make sure they outspeed Torn at +1.
Well,
So
that's quite large, eh?
So we would probably need 170, 85. So we'd probably need like this amount of speed, like right here, to outspeed that at +1. So if you want to run that much speed, yeah, we definitely can. The only thing about outspeeding Necrozma is like we still might not do like a whole ton to it, especially if it has Morning Sun still, right?
Yeah, and Moonlight.
Yeah. So
Probably not that valuable. I was just thinking like maybe you outspeed and you're going to die. You don't want to switch it to anything. You maybe just knock it off. But I need a risk weakness policy, so it's not the craziest, most well thought out plan.
Yeah, so the defensive miss might just be worth to be almost max. We can check too. Donphan. Oh boy. Okay, let's say we're that or Cinderace. Okay. So they're not going to be doing a ton. Burn would suck, but it is what it is. Let's check Garchomp. Yeah, so Donphan's pretty good into those two guys. How about like Gengar? Maybe we need some Spadef just in case. This is a balloon, so that's funny. We could like make some Spadef, so like we just don't get two shot by a Shadow Ball if you think that's something. If we do go with a Torn AV, we shouldn't really have to worry about Gengar much, but I don't know if we're gonna be doing that. Yeah.
I think you would need quite a lot to avoid the two shot from Gengar, wouldn't you?
From Shadow Ball?
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, because it's a 50 minimum right now. Yeah, so like to guarantee would be like this. So,
yeah, and then there's no guarantees that it's not going to be like nasty plot or specs.
Yes, yeah. So actually, yeah.
Max good stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, they could definitely see our team and then think like, oh, like, because like our
We
ghost.
don't really have a Shadow Ball resistance outside of Samurott, who dies quite a lot anyway.
Yeah, and it dies to Sludge Wave, so they can definitely bring us specs perhaps per chance. So we probably want to make sure our Torn can live. Too. Plus, that's another thing. If we're gonna be AV on Torn, we do like want spin just to make sure the rocks are not up, because that's annoying. It's really the only Pokemon that's affected too bad by like rocks, but still, it's gonna be important. So, yeah, I mean, and if they don't bring Gengar, like we can use it for like, I don't know, maybe they bring Dragalge or just like as a Necrozma, like initial switch into, just to see what they want to do. But yeah, I think that's fine. Just max. Impish is good. Are we lefties on anything?
not
Or
currently.
not? Okay, because I
I
don't
think
know.
we were considering it on Dango, but
Yeah. What about the item? What are you thinking here? You have boots. Could be
probably
helmet.
just
Lefties.
boots.
Boots. Okay.
I feel like boots makes sense because you're switching into Pyro Ball. It's like you're not
Yeah.
gonna helmet that anyway.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. This is good. So, I don't know, so do you think Assault Vest Torn is good for like some special attackers, or do you want to just screw it and be offensive as well? It's really your call how you like to play.
Um,
Because right now we have what 3 Pokemon that are like pretty offensive, and then
I don't think we need to go mega offensive because we've got like you say, we've got three offensive decent progress makers. I guess the only concern looking at our 3 progress makers is I don't really see like an out and out win con. It would maybe be Lycanroc.
yeah, I think if you had to pick, it would be Lycanroc. But that's a good thing though, like about this type of team where it's okay if you use Lycanroc to like break a couple of Pokemon and then it dies. You can still win the end game with like a Samurott. Golden Gold, you're probably not going to just win the game with just because it's speed, it's too slow. But it's still good to break things. And then even though Tornadus is Assault Vest, we're going to still make it probably max speed, right? So it doesn't have to be like fully like special attack or even special attack at all. It doesn't have to be. It can still like basically be the last Pokemon standing and just kind of kill off the remaining mons if you hit your moves, you know?
Yeah,
So,
and with Belly Bolt, you've got that synergy where you can bounce from Torn to Belly Bolt and heal each other up.
yep,
It's
that's
kind
right.
of nice.
Yeah, that's right. So, but
So, I mean, a defensive set looks okay, or like maybe not like a defensive set, but like a more what's the word, passive set maybe.
for Torn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we're like AV, you're what Hurricane, Knock, U-turn.
Yep. You literally
What's
just.
fourth move? Can't even think of fourth move.
It can be Terra Blast if you wanted to, like, just in case, but realistically, you're probably not gonna Terra with this grass guy. You just want to like show it. Last move, it could be. I mean, it could just be
Break Break.
Break Break.
Could be Break Break.
Could be, yeah. For
I'm so tired of screens.
well, again,
So
I mean, unless Rotom brings the screens, if it's Klefki, we're not gonna. It's really not a big deal. That is kind of one reason though why Nasty Pop might not be terrible as the last slot, but I think Recover is probably just better. But yeah, you can definitely run Brick Break if you're scared of screens. You can run a more accurate flying move if you want. You can run just a move to hit the Rotom as hard as possible, which would probably be like Focus Blast or something.
Focus Blast does also. No, you're right. You're gonna Hurricane the Zarude, but I mean.
Yeah. I mean, you could run like
Sludge Wave maybe.
Yeah.
Sludge Wave maybe is quite nice. It's like an accurate option.
It would really only hit the.
Or you could just go Sludge Bomb and just every time you come in, click Sludge Bomb and Poison Summon.
Fish or Poison. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's not bad. Honestly, I am here for that. That sounds good to me.
When in doubt, just cheese it out.
Yeah, literally. So you definitely want the speed, right, for Cinderace. Yeah. And now, do you want to go? We should probably check the Calcs versus Gengar. That's kind of the main thing. Mono type, hell yeah. So this is Air Balloon. Let's go specs. Going the wrong way. Okay.
You're chilling.
Yeah. So you're gonna be faster. So even if they do click Sludge Bomb and they do get a poison, you can knock it to where I think you would live the next hit. And if it's Plot or something, Plot Thunderbolt, maybe. I don't even know. I don't think that kills you though. +2. There would have to be like Life Orb maybe. That'd be kind of crazy. Like Plot Life Orb. That's what it'd have to be. But again, you're faster though, so you knock it off, and then he doesn't have the Life Orb. So, and you live if there's no prior damage. So that's what is that? That's max HP.
You got room for a couple EVs for Spadef.
You could do Spadef or special attack. It's only 20. What about something like check Garchomp? That's not gonna do anything really for you. Serious. it's probably best to just... Oh, and Rotom too, we have to check. That's kind of... Okay, so that's no investment. Let's check modest. So...
You can maybe avoid the 2 KO.
Yeah. I think Spadef
Or maybe make it closer. Yeah, I would go Spadef.
Yeah. And then again, you do have Tera Grass to kind of threaten just killing it with a Tera Blast, so they got to be careful. But I mean, we didn't take... Oh, we didn't finish, but we didn't take too long. I think the concept of this team is pretty good. It's really just you have good checks to their biggest threats, and then you have pretty good offensive pieces. The one wild card is obviously Necrozma can pretty much do anything with Dragon Dance and then Tera Blast or whatever if it switches. But we do have something faster. We have priority, you know. So I think we cover them pretty well. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like Swords Dance Cinderace with like Pyro Ball Quick Attack Double Edge could be a thing. But again, we have Sturdy for that too. So it's like, I think we're pretty okay, you know?
I guess the one thing, I mean, you've got Psychic Fangs, but I was considering like Poison, Calm Mind, Necrozma from their end. Because like it avoids the Toxic and Belly Bolt.
Poison. Yep, that's fair. But we have physical attackers that are just straight up faster. That will do a ton. I know it does have I mean, anyway, with Donphan too. I know it does have...
I think you just have to trade a couple pieces and kill it.
Yeah, I know it has what's it called, Prism Armor, but you'll still be doing a good chunk. Like Lycanroc is really, really strong. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to use. So we can check how much it'll do to like a, let's just say like a max HP on Necrozma. That's poison. Poison. It'll do over half. So.
Not bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good damage. And again, especially if you get some spikes up too, because they can't switch in Cinderace on the Ceaseless. They gotta switch in something else. So spikes will be up, and then they gotta find the opportunity to court change, which I don't know if they're gonna be able to, you know? So, you know, if you have that.
I guess the next question is like, are we just leading Samurott and just clicking Ceaseless off for it?
Well, let's finish Golden Go first. So what did we decide here for the item? And then we'll do the lead at the end.
I think, so, I mean, the way I see it is you could either be, plot lefties, or you could be recover and then a different item.
I like lefties.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be lefties and recover too. It's not really a big deal. I like lefties though, just because, like, we know we're gonna sub if Klefki is there, so it's just getting the health back is nice. Let's say there's no Klefki for some reason, then that's something where you could dedicate Golden Go, like if you run Colbur Berry, to kind of maybe be your Necrozma switch in. It depends on what their Tera type is too and everything though. But, you know, you would just have to find an opportunity to, because you can't send it in versus Garchomp. You would probably send it in versus Rotom, to be honest, because you can't send it in versus these three guys. Necrozma could be scary, so honestly, I think lefties is probably the best opportunity. But Colbur...
Yeah, because you're taking, what, like 30 from Volt Switch?
Yeah.
25, 30?
Yeah. Colbur works too, though, because if it is, like, if you do bring it in versus a Volt Switch, and then they can bring in, like, anything, and then you're kind of forced to switch, right? So...
Yeah.
They're not going to see the lefties until after they pick in something to bring in, but... Still, that's why it's a little bit tricky, you know?
Yeah, no, I like lefties. And I also like recover.
Okay, yeah, we could do both, that's fine. And honestly...
The other option, I guess, and this is a bit of a wild one, is Dazzling Gleam.
I don't think that's bad at all, actually. Just because, too... If
they have two Make It Rain switch-ins, right? Which would be... Well, they've got Shadow Ball switching in Zarude, and then they've got like a Make It Rain switching in Garchomp, so... And then they've got Rotom, obviously, so Rotom's probably the first thing they go to, but if they go Rotom on a sub, then they're gonna have to just Volt Switch out immediately, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be... I think Zarude... If Zarude has like Synthesis or something, then that's probably like that's definitely their best Golden Go switch in, because it covers Shadow Ball, and then if you Make It Rain, it just, you know, recovers. So
Yeah.
I think either Zarude or probably a Svidef Chomp is going to be their Golden Go response. That makes sense to me. So Make It Rain is good into both of those. That's why I think I mentioned like Focus Blast just in case it is Zarude. You know, if you sub and then they go Zarude, you can just... I don't think it one-shots it, but it does probably like over 80 or something. I think we checked earlier.
Yeah,
So,
the other cheesy option is you just tack a screen on, and then you can keep your sub up.
yeah, let's check. Does Dazzling Gleam do more than Make It Rain? I don't think so, right? Does Zarude?
Does Zarude? I'm inclined to say no, but...
No. But you don't take the drop, though, so... Ooh, knockoff just kills.
That's pretty tragic, actually.
Yeah. We could be sub... Okay, this might be crazy. Let's see. Focus Blast. I just want to check. I don't think we're going to be running this, but I just want to see.
Got a fire, actually.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we're going to be clicking probably Shadow Ball most of the time, so that's not going to really help.
I think if you're eval and sub, then you're like, well, you've got no recovery at all, so it's like...
Well, you would probably be Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, sub recovery.
Over Make It Rain. Okay.
Yeah, because again, Shadow Ball is fine for everything except for Zarude, right? Yeah, Make It Rain would do. Yeah, Make It Rain would do more to things like Garchomp, but Shadow Ball is still gonna do a good chunk to it, you know. So that's just if you think Zarude's coming. I think that's fine. And if your X Repel, it just dies, or it's close to dying. You do have to hit though too, which is always sucky. So, I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky. As good as easy as like this Pokemon is to bring this game, it's still like kind of hard to figure out what last moves and stuff you want to bring on this guy. I think this is okay, honestly.
I like this, yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is
this
fine.
is fine.
We probably don't need to go too crazy with
Yeah, if you sub and they bring in Zarude, just hit it with once with Make It Rain, and then you could probably pivot to something like Torn or probably Torn or Belly Bolt, because then you get a free click because they can't just U-turn or they gotta switch. You can just Volt Switch.
Yeah, the other thing is because we have Belly Bolt, is Zarude likely going to be pads?
It could be, because something like a helmet, like Pheasantipity too, is really good for.
Yeah, Helmet Fez literally just walls that thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's...
So it could be.
No, I don't even think it gets anything to hit that.
Stopping Tantrum.
Sand Headbutt?
Tantrum, I guess. I think.
Tantrum, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it could be pads. I mean, again, that's just information that you know, so that's still good even if it is pads. So, but yeah, I think this is good then. So let me just make sure nothing's crazy here. So again, we're gonna be showing Tera Grass, but realistically, we're gonna be rocking with Tera Fairy Bolt. It might be a little bit tricky because you do have to get the Tera off. You can't just like switch this into like Garchomp or something, But you do have momentum, so you can, if you might want to like just take an opportunity just to get in the Bolt quick, even if it's not versus like something ideal, as long as you're not like going to be threatened or anything, just to make sure you have that that typing ready to go. So
yeah, the thing is you can quite easily bring, well, maybe not easily, but you can bring Belly Bolt in on like a Rotom or Volt Switch or something, and then you just tear and Volt Switch out.
Yeah, for sure. So that's good. But yeah, leads. You were thinking, you said Samurott?
Yeah, my only concern would be losing your Samurott. But then I think if you're lead Samurott, you just stick Flip Turn on. And then if you get an unfavorable lead, you just Flip Turn out.
So it's a bit tricky, just because if you do lead Samurott, they could be literally Scarf any of these three guys and just kill you. Yeah. Or even Gengar too.
It's quite annoying.
So
yes.
I don't know if that's the best lead. I think... honestly, Belly Bolt might be the best lead here, actually. Because what does
lead in Tera and click Toxic or something?
Yeah, because what is... Well, we can go through everything here and kind of see like what would give us trouble. So, if they lead Garchomp, I think the play is pretty simple for us. What do you think? And you would click here.
I mean, you probably... I personally would probably click Toxic, because I think if they see Fairy, but like Belly Bolt, they're not going to stay in on a Tera Blast unless they have like a move to hit us. And then they would have to predict and click Iron Head turn 1. So I feel like they would switch out, would they not?
Yeah. So yeah, you would expect to switch. So
I think you just
either
click Toxic. I mean, they might greed and stay in and click Stealth Rock turn 1 if it's lead chomp.
that's fine. As long as I would not click Volt Switch expecting a switch. That's too greedy in my opinion.
No, absolutely not. No,
Yeah, it's either yeah, it's Toxic or Terra Blast. One of the two I think is fine. Cinderace.
I think it's Volt on, right?
Yep, you can Volt Switch. I think that's fine. If they go Chomp, okay, you Terra Blast it, whatever.
I think the Toxic Necrozma unless it's
Yep.
it's Terra Poison.
Yep, I agree.
It might end up being Lomberry, but like I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you just Toxic it again, I guess.
Or if it's Steel, you got to look at the Terra type to kind of decide what you want to do. You could stay in and just slow Volt Switch if you're like scared, because even if it is special, I mean, we could check how much it does to Belly Bolt. I just typed in Photon Geyser. How much is it doing to Belly Bolt?
We should be able to eat one comfortably.
Yeah.
Meteor Beam would be annoying, actually, like lead Meteor Beam.
Yeah, that would do a lot of damage. Yeah, so maybe it is better just to switch. Maybe I'd probably pivot Torn maybe then turn 1 versus Necro, just to see what they want to do. You know, they might knock off or something if it's a lead Necrozma. They might just Stealth Rock. You know,
They could just rock, yeah.
I don't know if you have a better. You could be aggro and go hard Samurott on a potential Psychic move.
I am quite scared of Meteor Beam now, actually, looking at it. Where is our switching?
We would probably have to. Well, that means.
Yes, you go Dango.
Yeah, that means they can't boost their speed probably. So maybe Goldengo is actually the best play turn 1 versus Belly Bolt, because like, yeah, they can click knockoff, sure, but you at least immediately threaten it. You know, maybe you make it rain 2 initially, just in case it is policy.
Yeah,
But,
I agree.
Yeah, so okay, so that's good. So go and Goldengo then on Necro that's good. Versus Rotom, what are you thinking?
I think you just terrible switch, probably.
How much would like a Specs? Because it could be like a lead, like Trick with Specs
Maybe,
or something.
yeah, maybe you switch, actually, because Trick would be quite annoying. Maybe you just go hard Goldango.
Okay, a Specs Hydro Pump would do a shitload. Wait, let's just put the team into the builder. I don't know why I didn't do that. Into the account. So, I was gonna say like maybe you actually pivot into Torn. The only thing that does this though is you reveal right away that you're Assault Vest.
Yeah.
I think it is the safest option. If they're turn 1 Rotom, they might trick, but they would be tricking probably a Scarf or a Specs. So that wouldn't like be the worst. I don't know if there's another thing you'd rather get tricked. Like Goldengo would obviously be immune, but you'd have to like predict that. It would just suck if they just fire off a Hydro Pump or something instead.
Yeah, and then you lose like half your Goldango.
Yeah. And then they could be faster than just 2-shot you. So if they're offensive.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's probably Corn.
yeah, and then if they attack you, like if it's not Volt Switch, and you can calc their damage and see what they are, then if you're not in 2-shot range from like Scarf, then you can just slowly U-turn and get out of there. Or if it's like Specs and they stay in, then you just go into probably Samurott if it's Hydro Pumping.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I think Torn's probably a good pivot. If it gets tricked, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be less useful, yeah, but it'll still probably be using the Scarf or Specs, like not too bad. Unless it's like Trick Toxic Orb or something, turn 1, some crazy shit. I don't know, but that's on the more crazier side, you know. Belly Bolt versus Zarude. You can pretty much click like anything, I think. Like there's not really a bad click in my opinion. Probably.
Yeah, maybe just Terra Blast.
You could Terra Blast. Terra Blast, what would they switch in? Probably. I think Volt Switch would probably be a bit better actually. Just because if they have Klefki, they're probably gonna go Klefki. And if you can just Volt Switch into Goldengo right away, like that's really good for you.
Yeah, stops them getting turns.
Yeah, even if you do like Terra and they stay in, like they knock off, like okay, they can get staticked and your Volt Switch isn't going to be doing a ton, but then you could go into something like Torn and then just U-turn and then, you know, go from there or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
yeah, I do think probably Volt Switching versus Zarude is best. If they're sub, that would be some crazy shit, but you can Scarf Encore if you want, or you can just go Torn and then U-turn back to Belly Bolt on the attack, because Belly Bolt does just wall it. So I don't think you're really under big threat.
Yeah, no, this definitely seems fine.
Yep.
Belly Bolt kind of matches up well into everything.
Yeah, Belly Bolt versus Klefki. I don't even think you bother Volt Switching. I think you just, and like risk a trick or anything. I think you just, you know, go into gold.
Yeah, go hard Dango, yeah.
They can get a spike up, but again, you have spin, and they might end up core changing or whatever. So, Gengar, pretty simple play. Big Torn. Pretty simple there. Cloyster, if it leads, it probably is gonna hazard you. But again, we have
switch on it.
Yeah, we have a good Pokemon.
I don't think it stays into set hazards on Belly Bolt.
Yeah, and if it is Terra Ground, that's like the only case where I think sure you can Terra Blast, and just in case they do, you know, Terra turn 1.
Yeah.
But if it's anything that's not ground, yeah, I think you just Volt Switch. That's good. Gligar is a bit annoying for sure because it can knock off. That's probably the trickiest one. But like, even if you Terra Fairy, like it does, like you said, it doesn't have Roost, so you can technically just Terra Blast it down probably because you have.
Yeah, you can Terra it and take your like 20-25% chip on it.
Yeah, and just Terra Blast it. So you'd probably just stay in there and attack it honestly, because you don't want to lose another item honestly too. So, and then
Dragalge seems annoying.
Dragalge, what would you do? You would probably have to pivot. Just go hard Torn. You don't want to like take a Specs Draco and just die.
No, absolutely not.
So, or I mean, Golden Go is probably not bad either, but Torn is probably better because you get a lot of information. If it's like Specs or something, you'll know right away. I mean, you'll know too from Golden Go. Does it get like Shadow Ball or something for Golden Go? I think.
I don't actually know. I think it might get Fire Blast, maybe.
Fire Blast? Okay, yeah, I could have that. Let me check. It's got
completely lying.
Yeah, it's got to have something for Golden Go if it does come, if it gets it. Yeah, I guess Shadow Ball. So it might pack that. I didn't even think, what about Toxic Spikes versus you? I mean, you have the Boot Spinner, you're fine. So yeah, versus that, you just pivot Torn. So there are definitely a couple of mons that you can't just stay in with Belly Bolt, but I do think it is probably overall your best lead here. So, and then you want to just bring in Lycanroc basically as much as you can when there's a free kill, because CC is just incredibly free into this team, and Solrock is also a good priority. So yeah, I think this team is pretty well built. I think you have a good shot. When did you say you're playing this game, by the way?
I play tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night your time. So okay, yeah, I'll probably be around then to watch it. So, but is there any other concerns you got, or what do you think? Is this good?
No, I think this looks quite good. I'm probably gonna try and get a Mothra or two in with this team and see how it feels.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But yeah, no, I think it looks good.
Okay, all right, that's probably gonna do it. And then just after you play, just like send me the replay, and then I'll go over it and then do all that stuff. So,
of course.
But thank you for being a guest, and hopefully good luck in your game, and we'll see how you do.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Cheers.
Later. Alright guys, we're here for the battle. One last look at the paste. Again, our plan was to lead with Belly Bolt. You see the 6 that Ponytail brought. Unfortunately, no Klefki, but it is what it is. So, we lead with Belly Bolt. Actually, let's look at the Tera type first. It looks like necrozma is Tera Poison, and there's no Cloyster, so that is the only Tera Pokemon. Alright. So we lead Belly. They lead Rotom-Wash. They switch to Gligar. Whoa. What the heck is this turn? Okay, so I'm pretty sure we said for Belly Bolt versus Rotom lead to pivot Torn, because if Rotom is like a Specs Hydro Pump or something, that'll probably do like 70 to us, and then Belly Bolt's pretty much useless. It can't check Cinderace, it can't check Garchomp, it can't check Necrozma. So I'm pretty sure we should have pivoted Torn there. And I also don't know, or if it's like Trick too, like a Trick Scarf or Trick Specs, like Torn was the better Trick target in our opinion than Belly Bolt. But we just stayed in. I don't really know why they switched either, because Volt switched them pretty free, right? Like they're not gonna, Olivia's not gonna go into Donphan on a potential Hydro Pump. That just doesn't make sense. So unless they don't have Volt Switch for some reason, I don't know why Phony switched to Gligar. So that's a weird turn 1, but okay, we go hard Samurott on a Spike, which is nice. We get a big Ceaseless Edge now on the Rotom. Whoa, 95 crit. Okay, so that's, yeah. Okay. So, 95 crit should pretty much signify that this thing is offensive as hell and can certainly be choice scarfed. So she just didn't scout for it, it seems like, which is pretty bad because Samurai looks insanely good here. There's no dark resist and we're scarfed, so we should be probably faster than everything besides their scarfer, which is this Rotom. So not scouting for that is definitely a misplay in my opinion. It might end up costing her. I don't really know. But I think you can go Tornir if you want. Again, we're Assault Vest, so we're not going to die to any one hit. Or even like a Golden Goat because there's no Klefki no more, so Golden Goat isn't really as useful here. But it is what it is. She did not scout, so we take a big Volt Switch. We could have just died to Thunderbolt, but they Volt Switched. And so they did have Volt Switch, by the way, so yeah, I don't get that turn 1 from them. But we Ceaseless Edge on the Garchomp coming in. That's good. Unfortunately, we're going to be in Spike range now, so we could choose to save this because we do still have Spin if we want. But I don't think she does. No, she does not. So we don't get the third Spike up because Garchomp died. So that play is not really too bad. Like just killing the Garchomp is fine. Again, we could have spun and then just kept it around, but it is what it is. We go Lycanroc as they go Rotom. They're probably going to go Gligar here. Okay, they do not go Gligar. We just get the kill. Nice. So Cellrock was definitely the correct play there. Don't know why they did not go Gligar. That's weird. Okay. Now they go Gligar, yep. And then we pivot to Torn on a Toxic, which is a bit unfortunate. And then we just Hurricane. Okay. So this is... Okay, this isn't correct either. So, So we can... I think she pivoted Torn expecting probably like an Earthquake maybe versus Lycanroc, which is fine. We get Toxic, which is... You know, it sucks, but I don't think you stay in here the next turn. I think you pivot into something like Goldengo. Even though they went for knockoff here, if you look at Goldengo, it's not going to be doing much the rest of the game. It dies to Cinderace, it dies to Gengar, and then unless it's already in versus Necrozma is more than likely going to be probably Calm Mind or Dragon Dance, because it's, if you just look at the team composition, it's only like setup Pokemon. So... Well, Garchomp is dead, so I could have been set up maybe, but it's probably Rocks the way it looks like. So, so I feel like you just go Goldengo here. Even if they click knockoff as they did, we will be down to probably like 60%, and then we can get a big Make It Rain off versus the same, because Goldengo is not going to be able to do much probably the rest of the game, and then losing Assault Vest on this guy is very bad because the Gengar is still alive, which is what we need it for. Plus, even Necrozma can be special too. So Assault Vest on Torn is pretty useful here. But I mean that type of thing is just kind of hard to see. It's just kind of like identifying your most expendable Pokemon at this point in the game. And I definitely think it's Goldengo. I think the other 4 Pokemon are still pretty useful here. So, but we just go for the Hurricane, which actually that click, I don't think that's the correct click here because she chooses to stay in. But don't you just click knockoff here? Because if you knock off the Eviolite and then Hurricane, you do more. Plus, knockoff, gets an item on anything that switches in, which is always a good thing, and you can't miss and any of that stuff. So she stayed in. I don't really agree with that play, and then she also Hurricane first. So we lose our Assault Vest. It is what it is. Okay, and then she knocks off. Yeah, so I think you just reverse the order of those attacks is more ideal, but that's fine. We save the Torn, which is certainly the correct play. We lose our Helmet. Now again, here, they already show Toxic, so I think again, just you have to go Goldengo here, right? Because getting Toxic on Bellibolt is just not ideal, because now it's not going to really be able to check the Necrozma or even the Cinderace. Like, it's just going to be too low. It's going to go down to what, 48%, and then if it switches, it comes in on 36. So that whole I'm going to talk to her. The whole sequence versus the Gligar, I think, is just not... wasn't really played well, but I'll talk to her and see kind of what she was thinking, going through the game and stuff. So now they bring in Necrozma, which is probably the biggest threat to the team because we don't know what this thing wants to do. It is Terra Poison, so it's kind of hard to just Toxic here. It could be it could be Lomberry. So I think the correct play is Volt Switch from her. Let's see what she does. She does Volt Switch, which is good. And then Okay, this is the turn where the cat jumped on she said the cat jumped on her keyboard and she went Lycanroc. Yeah, this is certainly not the best Pokemon to go into. It's, again, probably Goldengo to see what this thing wants to do, if it has, like, knockoff or whatever. Or even you can probably just go Donphan and then click Earthquake and then put it in a Cell Rock range, and then Lycanroc, a Cell Rock just, like, decimates the rest of the team, you know, and you still have Torn for Gengar. But unfortunately, that didn't work, so she has to go Lycanroc here because of the cat, and then probably click just a Cell Rock, which she does, and does 24. And we're going to die to Photon Geyser. So this is actually pretty scary. This is pretty scary here. We probably have to go Donphan here, then just EQ into Shard to kill it. We're Fizz Def, so we're not going to, we're not going to die. But if we do that, we probably lose to Cinderace. So I don't know. I mean, maybe you go Goldengo and hope you, like, live a knockoff or whatever it has. I'm not too sure. Let's see what she does. She goes into Torn, which she could go Torn here and then switch and then come back to Torn and then be at pretty much full, and I think Torn would live a Photon from here, but Photon at full. But from here, I don't think Photon Geyser. I think Photon Geyser kills Torn because we're Spidef. We're just max HP. We're not Fizz Def at all. So they're actually slower. Yeah, I mean, our Torn is just speed creeping Cinderace, so I don't know why the Necrozma is not faster than Torn at +1. That it must be just, like, very bulky, or it's just adamant and didn't have, like, the speed for it. I don't know. That's definitely a miss EV in my opinion. I think that Necrozma should always be faster than Torn at +1, but we'll take it. We're not arguing. We hit the Hurricane. Well-trained Torn hits 2. In comes Cinderace is not Boots, so we switch to save Torn for Gengar, which is ideal. And then, oh god, so okay. This is another thing I don't agree with. So, yes, Donphan is our Cinderace answer, but did you see how much that Powerball did? It did 47. So that means all it needed was either 1 burn or 1 crit, and Donphan actually dies to 2. We can't kill Cinderace, and I think Cinderace actually just wins the game because it looks like it's probably banded. I don't think Torn just OHKOs it with Hurricane, and then Powerball literally kills the rest of the Pokemon. So her play for sure was to probably just go Belly Bolt and sack it, and then you bring in Donphan at 100% safely, Earthquake him, kill Cinderace, and then Torn kills Gengar. But luckily, again, for us, we don't get crit or burned, and we do take out the Cinderace, and then Torn is going to probably kill the Gengar. Even if it's Scarf, I think, even though we lost our Soul Vest, I think because we're so healthy, we probably live a Shadow Ball anyway. And it's actually not even Scarf, it's Specs, because the Rotom was Scarf. So, oh yes, Choice Specs. Okay, so Olivia did win the game. That's really all that matters. There were certainly a lot of plays. The biggest misplay for sure, though, was just pretty much sacking the Samurott to that Scarf Rotom, which is really bad, because think of if you go all the way back to this point right here, right? You Volt Switch, you can, or the cat went on the keyboard. So here, right after you Cell Rock, and then knock it down to 37, bang, you still have Samurott with Ceaseless Edge. Dude, this thing dies because it's Terra Poison. Gengar certainly dies. This thing comes in at 84. You can literally just save the Samurott, go into Belly Bowl, and then, bring in Donphan, and then it'll die the next time it comes after Spikes if the Cinderace switches, or just dies at Donphan, and then Ceaseless Edge literally just cleans the game. So that's what I'm talking about with how good Samurott looked, and just losing all that health versus Rotom early on just was not necessary and made the game a lot harder for her. Thankfully, she still did win the game, so that's all that matters. But still, hopefully, again, I'm going to talk to her about it because I've seen the replay and kind of see what she was thinking. But that's going to do it. Again, well played to Olivia. Thank you guys a ton for watching. Again, if you want to be part of this series where I live build a team with you guys, all you got to do is join the Discord below, and in the channel that says Team Building with Zooch, type in the word in, and then I'll get you guys signed up. So thank you guys a ton for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.